Welcome to Module 3 of Content Writing. I hope you've enjoyed Modules 1 and 2 so far. Let's get started on this. In this module, you will learn research skills for content writers. Yes, you guys also need research skills. We'll talk about why research matters in content writing, finding ideas your audience cares about, and checking facts and avoiding misinformation. This module quote states, "No need to force yourself to do something the right way if it's not your right way. Your job is to honor your process." Every content writer has their processes. You don't need to follow another's process. Just follow what works for you. So you don't need to force yourself to do something the right way if it's not your right way. Just keep working, keep enjoying your process. Why is research important in content writing? Why does it matter? Well, research gives content depth, accuracy, and credibility. You don't want to put something out there that's not accurate, that is not credible, and that's not real. Why research is important? It helps you as a writer to avoid misinformation. You don't want to lie to your audience. Imagine you saying to someone that 39% of women face abuse, whereas it's over 39%. So you don't want to give out that misinformation. Research is also important because it strengthens arguments and explanations. It makes you confident. If you give a particular number or a specific thing, let's say you're talking about 50% of this is happening, it makes a reader tell themselves that yes, this person knows what they're saying, they know their audience. It strengthens arguments and explanations. You have something to bring to the table because of research. Research also helps build trust with readers. They can trust you because they know that you've done so much work behind the scenes to produce a credible information, to produce a trustworthy content, so they can trust you. And lastly, research improves content quality and relevance. If somebody has forgotten something and then they can go to your page for information, that means you're relevant. That means you've built authority in that field. So it improves your content quality and relevance. Now let's talk about how you can find ideas your audience cares about. Good content ideas are based on audience interest, not guesswork. You don't want to think, oh, what should I tell my audience today? No, that shows that you've not done enough research or you don't even care about your audience. You need to look at what your audience is interested in and not create content based on guesswork. Now, these are the ways to find relevant ideas. Identify common questions in your niche. If someone is going through a heartbreak, if someone is going through problems in their finances, if someone is going through problems in their studies, you need to find areas in those niches and identify the common questions. As a student, you need to think about, how can I make this student's life better through my content? For a market woman, you need to think about, how can I make sure this woman has more sales in our business? If you're writing to a medical professional body, you need to think about the right things to say, whatever problems it is that they have, maybe how to reach people in rural areas and give them free medical advice. Those are the kind of things that you can put out there. So you need to identify common questions in your niche. Another way to find relevant ideas is to observe online discussions and comments. That's why you need to be out there on your platform. You can't say you want to post on Instagram and you don't know what's going on Instagram. You can't say you're working in tech, you want to post something relating to tech, but you don't know what's going on in the tech space. You're just setting up yourself for failure. So you need to learn how to observe online discussions and comments. Go through the comments. I love going through comments because I love to see how people think, and that helps me to create content. Also, use search engines to explore related queries. Google is there, SEO is there, Uber Suggest is there. All these keyword platform tools are there to help you know the kind of topics you can come up with. Follow current trends carefully. Now, carefully is important. You don't want to jump on any trend, but you just want to make sure that you're still updated. You're keeping up with what's going on. So follow these trends carefully. Again, identify common questions in your niche. Think about the questions that your audience might have, even without them asking you. Observe comments, observe online discussions, use search engines to your advantage, and follow current trends carefully. A strong idea addresses a real need, a problem, or curiosity. That is how you find an idea. Just think about it. What is this person trying to solve, and how can my content help them solve their problems? I like this topic very much because it talks about fact checking. These are the best practices for fact checking. Verify information with multiple sources. Don't depend on one source to give you the right information. Avoid relying on one website or opinion. Just because somebody mentioned 39% of women are facing this and then you think that is the right information, make sure you Google more sources and ensure that you have the right information. Do not give your audience something that is outdated, maybe from the 80s. That's not going to be true anymore in this present age. And you also need to learn how to confirm statistics and quotations. Again, check if it's the right source, check if contains check if it contains the right information, check if it's credible. Now let's talk about signs of unreliable information. These are the signs we need to watch out for. No source or author mentioned. It doesn't state anything. For instance, if you're using ChatGPT or any AI platform, and then it gives you a specific quotation and you're taking it like that, that's absolutely wrong. Because if it does not have a source, if it does not have an author, that means it's not credible enough to be used. Another sign you need to watch out for is exaggerated claims. If somebody tells you that 100% of people die every day, that's a red flag because it's not true. So you need to watch out for exaggerated claims. Also, watch out for lack of supporting evidence. If someone comes to you and tells you that men are going through a lot, but there is no evidence to back that up, you might be raising your eyebrow like, I know they are going through a lot, but what do you mean by a lot? Be specific. And how many men are going through that? What is the number of statistics involved? Just ask these questions. Do not rely on any information you see on the internet. Do not rely on any information AI or ChatGPT feeds you. Ensure you do your research as a content writer. Now let's wrap this module up. We've talked about research in this module and why research is important. Now I want to mention that research should support your writing, not replace your voice. And that sometimes we're so tempted to put lots and lots of things that we get from research into our content. That's a bad practice. Good practice involves paraphrasing information in your own words. Even if you find something reliable on the internet, do not copy and paste. Learn to paraphrase such information in your own words. Add explanations or examples. Another good practice is to add examples, add explanations. Do not just tell your audience that 39% of people go through this and that's it. No, explain why did they go through it and how did you come about that information. Lastly, combine multiple sources. I talked about that earlier. Do not depend on one source for your information. Make sure that you have multiple sources, reliable, credible sources. And I want to put it out there that Wikipedia is not your best bet. So do not rely on Wikipedia. Get something from Wikipedia, but double check with other reliable sources. Now, I want you to avoid the following when it comes to research. Do not copy content directly. Do not copy and paste. Do not overload your writing with facts. Make sure you still maintain your originality and do not present unverified claims. Whatever claims you're putting out there, whatever statistics you're putting out there, make sure that they are true, they are accurate, they're reliable, and they are credible. Since we've talked about research in this module, I hope this is going to make things clearer for your course project. Now, before you write anything, before you give me the final version, ensure that you have the right claims, the right statistics, and do not forget, I want two things from you: first draft and final edited version. Choose any platform you would like, but ensure that you have a specific topic and you're targeting a specific audience. Also, ensure that your platform has the right tone, the right voice, the right content, the right length, the right audience.